Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Coach Red, where we bring you all the news, stories, takes, and opinions about your favorite teams from the Pacific North, fresh from the good to the bad to the Mariners.
The Mariners, baby.
By the time you hear this, the Mariners will have already been at least one game into their season.
Hopefully 1-0. Undefeated.
Crossing my fingers.
Yo.
But
Fingers.
we're back in the mock draft season. Seems to be the popular thing out there. So guess what? We're gonna hop right back in. Gonna go a little bit more rapid fire on this one. Only three hosts. Someone had to grind, as he said, playing MLB the Show. Couldn't be bothered. He talked about the baseball podcast, but he's like mock drafts. I'm out, and that's Statosaurus Rex, who was the guru of college tape.
Peter Skoronsky.
Oh man. But before we dive into this, why don't I tell you a little bit about us? If you're looking for a guy who is like a mashup between Easy E and Mel Kiper, because I don't slang or bang. I just smoke mock drafts like they ain't no thing. And that's me, your boy, Coach Red. You can find me on Twitter at The Real Coach Red, on Instagram at The Real _Coach Red. Also, hop on over to YouTube, search Kicking In with Coach Red, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, drop some comments. A lot of views coming up there.
Yeah, a lot of views.
And if you're, might as well keep matching it up. If you're looking for a guy that is a combination of John Mayer and Todd McShay, because his mock draft is a wonderland. It's Lefty France.
What up, peeps? Follow me on Twitter at Lefty France, on Instagram at DFrance13. Go over and follow the pod at Coach Red Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us. Do it, freaking do it.
Nice little lead-ins on that one, huh?
Yeah, those were good. Those are real good.
So we're going to go a little bit more rapid fire. There's a few new names making their way into this mock draft. Some guys kind of falling out and a little bit of movement capability going on. So the guys that we've touched on will kind of go a little bit more rapid fire, but we wanted to do a little what if. We didn't want to go chalk like we have the last couple times. We mixed it up a little bit. So we hope you enjoy. But we also want to be a little bit right. So starting off pick one, Carolina Panthers going CJ Stroud. I think this is about the worst kept secret in the NFL right now. There's some people that are saying Bryce Young might be making his way there, but I think it's CJ's spot to lose right now. He seems like a perfect scheme fit for what Frank Reich likes to do, and is just going to wheel and deal for the Panthers this year. Maybe the most improved team in the NFL.
Yeah, no, they're stacking up for sure.
All right, pick two. We got the Houston Texans. Lefty France, where they going?
Going with the second best quarterback, Bryce Young. Not much has changed. Guys, a leader, can step in and make big plays for the Texans right off the bat. Something that they need is a QB right now. So Bryce Young from Alabama, the Crimson Tide.
Oh man, we got to get back into that. CJ Stroud, the Ohio State.
Yeah.
Buckeyes. And before we go there, hey, big return on the episode. Mock Draft Beanie is back.
It's back, people.
Even has the poof. It's back. All right, pick three. Also, we're still not trading in here unless the trade happened before the mock draft. So pick three, we've got the Arizona Cardinals taking the most established and most proven collegiate defensive player, and that's going to be Will Anderson, edge from the Alabama Crimson Tide. Tape speaks for itself. The guy's a leader on and off the field. As a junior, clocked in with 17 sacks. This is a guy that's going to be an insert, plug and play, wreak some havoc on some NFL offensive lines. It'd be fun to watch, but not for us as Seahawks fans.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, pick four, going to Indianapolis. What is Jim Irsay's crew going to do?
Going quarterback out of Kentucky, the Wildcats, Will Levis. At we had Anthony Richardson here at some point. I think some mock drafts still have him there, but like you were saying earlier, he's more NFL ready than Anthony Richardson is. And that's something the Colts kind of need right now is a guy that can go in and be ready to take snaps from day one, really. So his arm strength's incredible too. So I think Will Levis at the Colts is a good fit.
Pick 5. Hey, Lefty, this is the first mock draft where you will not get all the Seahawks
I
picks.
know. I was thinking about that. I
Good day
get
for
one
me.
now.
Um, there's a lot of different places we could go here, but with the 5th pick, the Seattle Seahawks select Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, Georgia Bulldogs. Character issues are a concern. The workouts are a concern. But with those concerns, when people are saying there's no way based off his talent that he's getting out of the first round, if you look at the biggest hole right now, it's a big man hole, and that's the defensive tackle. Brian Monet is probably not going to be ready to start the season. You cut Al Woods, maybe you're going to try and bring him back at some point when you do some cap gymnastics, but Jalen Carter is plug and play. Put him in. I think this might have been a precursor on what you saw the Al Woods move being made for this pick. Get him wild.
Yeah, hog wild.
All right, pick 6. We're going to Detroit. The Detroit Lions. Lefty, who they going with?
Devin Witherspoon, cornerback out of Illinois, the Fighting Illini. Um, Something that the Lions could kind of use right now is a cornerback, Devin Witherspoon, fast guy, can
Pops.
yeah, has pop, great coverage, would fit in great in Detroit. So with the Detroit Dannies, he's
I
not a
just like his
Danny, but
grittiness.
yeah,
Like how like this guy looks like a Dan Campbell type player.
for sure. And he had, I think, 14 PBUs, pass breakups, in 2022, which just shows he's all over receivers and all over the ball. So definitely fits in with Dan Campbell.
All right, pick 7 going to Vegas with the Raiders. Going quarterback, Anthony Richardson, Florida Gators. And reason we went here is so he can be Jimmy G's new Trey Lance. Trey Lance was a guy that did not have a lot of college experience, and the same can be said with Anthony Richardson. Super toolsy. And another reason that I wanted to go with this pick is when Cam Newton got the injury bug and left Carolina, he had some early season success with the Patriots before getting dinged up again. Anthony Richardson, Florida Gator, super Tuesday quarterback. Joshy Boy McDaniels, this is a guy that can taper an offense to do what he does best, and being able to have Josh Jacobs back this year, being able to have some of the weapons that he has in his arsenal. Jacoby Myers coming over is a big get. You pair that with Hunter Renfro and Devontae Adams. You're putting good players on the field next to him. Tight end's a little bit of a concern with me after the Waller trade, but
Yeah.
I think that you can see McDaniels possibly get the most out of Anthony Richardson, and you don't have the pressure to start him right away. You can let him grow a little bit in the system.
Yep.
All right, pick number 8, going down to the ATL, Atlanta Falcons.
They're going edge, defensive end, edge rusher, Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech, the Red Raiders. We had him going to the Hawks in some of them. He is just a beast on the edge. Like he will anywhere he goes, he'll go in and make a difference for the team. And the Falcons could use an edge rusher. So I think for them, it's best defensive lineman / edge rusher, and Tyree Wilson fits that spot. So Tyree Wilson to ATL.
I like it. Next pick, we got Chicago Bears. Oh, did you say Texas Tech Red Raiders?
Yes.
Okay, hallelujah. checked out for a second. All right. Chicago Bears going tackle Broderick Jones, Georgia Bulldog. And he's kind of separating himself from me, at least, as that tackle one. He's got the highest upside to be a starting left tackle for a long period of time. With them making the additions of going and getting, DJ Moore, I think that helps with the weapons side of it a little bit. So go ahead and let's keep him upright. Give Justin Fields the best shot to give one more, hey, I'm the starting quarterback of this team before they might have to go hunting again next year. Let's put all the tools around it so that way you're giving your team the best opportunities to succeed in what could be an up for grabs NFC North.
Yeah. Like it.
Pick 10 going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Who are they taking at pick 10?
Edge rusher Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa, the Hawkeyes, aka Hercules. This guy's a freak. He's a freak. And
he's been shooting up boards.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think in a few we had him in the 20s.
I think he went to 2022. He was always going to the Ravens.
Yeah. And then now we've got him at 10. I think he would fit in great with the Eagles and make a huge impact. The guy is an animal, kind of reminds me of like a Nick Bosa style guy. But yeah, I think he could really help the Eagles out with a defense that's kind of been they were good last year, but a lot has been moving over the off season. So Lucas Van Ness.
All right, pick 11 going to Tennessee with the Titans. They need some playmakers on this team. Go ahead and get me the hot wide receiver on the market. And for us right now, that is Jackson Smith and Jigba, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Was not healthy last year. Has been testing out of this world and nothing but praise from his pro day. A lot of people were in town at that pro day, presumably to look at CJ Stroud, but don't sleep on a few of these other players. That's a factory out there. And Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to follow in the lines of those Ohio State wide receivers that have made it into the league and just balled out. You got Chris Olave last year. You got Scary Terry a few years before that. When you look at Olave coming out last year, Jackson Smith and Jigba had better numbers than he did that year. Granted, Olave was dealing with a little bit of injury stuff himself in his last year in college, but Jackson Smith and Jigba, when he's right, can give you that versatility to hit the short and intermediate routes and go over the top. And I think that's something you need when you already have an established, it has to be established guy in Treylon Burks on the team.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, pick number 12. Going back to Houston, the Texans, where they going at pick 12.
Going wide receiver Quentin Johnston out of TCU, the Horned Frogs. Something that the Texans need right now is kind of a big-bodied wide receiver.
They can make jump more wide receivers.
Yeah, true. But a big-bodied wide receiver that can go make jump ball plays is always nice to have, especially if they're getting Bryce Young. They can build that connection from the get-go. And yeah, like you were saying, they really need a wide receiver. And I would say Quentin Johnston's probably the second best receiver on the board. Maybe Jordan Addison on there too, but I like Quentin Johnston better, bigger bodied guy. Seems like he's a little bit more NFL ready.
All right. The New York Jets at pick 13. Going with tackle / guard Peter Skoronski out of the Northwestern Wildcats. And the reason I like Skoronski here is I believe that Dwayne Brown re-signed up again at like age 55 to still play tackle for the Jets. But you've got George Fant not on the team anymore. His contract's lapsed. You've got Mekhi Becton, who it's a big time prove it deal. So if Mekhi ends up being your right tackle starter, Peter Skoronsky can slot in at guard. So your guards would be Skoronsky and Elijah Barrett Tucker. And it's a pretty strong group. And if Mekhi Becton fizzles a little bit more, then you've got a natural fit for him at tackle, playing tackle, and eventually being that successor, hopefully at left tackle when Dwayne Brown just like turns into a mummy on the field because the guy's played for 50 years.
Just goes to dust when he gets hit.
It's true. All right, next pick going to New England. And this was a little bit of a shocker. This wasn't a good fit. And I mean, New England's getting a pretty darn good player, 14.
Yeah. They're going cornerback Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, the Ducks. Quack, quack. This, yeah, like you were saying, it's kind of shocking that we have him this late, but nowhere else really fit. Could go 6 to the Lions. We were up in the air between these two guys.
Well, the Eagles were a natural fit until they extended Slay and kept Bradbury.
Yeah, exactly. And then other than that, every other team's needs were not cornerback. So Christian Gonzalez sliding to the Patriots would be Bill Belichick would love that.
He always builds it from the back forward.
Exactly. So, I mean, they're getting a speedy guy that's just an insane cornerback, can easily move into a quarterback one. But yeah, really, it's just kind of shocking, but good grab for the Patriots.
All right, pick 15. We're going to Green Bay. And no matter who the quarterback is there, you need some weapons. And a position that I think they've been lacking since the 1 year of Robert Tonyan is tight end. Tight end one for me right now is Michael Mayer out of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And complete guy, very well adept as a pass catcher, but can also mix it up in the trenches. I've seen some different tight ends moving around, but give me Michael Mayer. He's the most complete guy, and he's been the healthiest guy and has the college production to back it up. And I think that this is a big fit, finally going and getting a pass catcher in the first round for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
All right, pick 16, Washington Commanders.
Lefty. Cornerback Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State, the Nittany Lions. The Commanders are really lacking DBs.
The William Jackson III experiment did not pan out like they had it.
Exactly. So they're going to start from scratch, go with Joey Porter Jr. Guy can go in and make plays off the bat. I've said it before. His dad was an ex-Pro Bowler, familiar with the NFL, and I think this is a good spot for Joey Porter Jr. and the Commanders. So works out for the both of them.
All right, pick 17, Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going cornerback. I think we've had Joey Porter here most of the time, but with him coming off the board a little earlier, go ahead and give me a high toolsy upside guy, and that's going to be Deonte Banks, cornerback, Maryland Terrapins. And he tested phenomenally. And when you look at the Steelers as a whole, they usually have some pretty good corners. And, you know, they took a flyer in the trade with the Seahawks with Ahkello Witherspoon, bringing it back an extra year. But they need a new young blood in that secondary. And with Banks' athleticism, I think that he's too big of a get right here to pass up.
Yeah.
All right, pick 18, Detroit.
I always get this guy.
No, false. Cain got him in the last
one. Yeah, that's right. Elijah Cansey, defensive lineman or D tackle out of Pittsburgh, the Panthers. This guy will fit in great with the Lions, with Aiden Hutchinson, and Dan Campbell. It's just a perfect spot for him. I think I'd love for the Hawks to grab him. I mean, he's getting hyped up, but little undersized, but still fast. Um, Also from Pittsburgh, where Aaron Donald came from, so could be Aaron Donald 2.0.
All right, pick 19 going down to Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers. This one has always been a tough spot, but after a long road trip this weekend and catching up on some podcasts, a low key need for them is offensive tackle. Donovan Smith has started there for about 8 years. He's still out there on the free agency market. Go ahead and give me Paris Johnson Jr., tackle out of the Ohio State, the Buckeyes, and pair this with Tristan Wirfs. Now you've got two younger bookend tackles. I think that this gives you the opportunity to move Wirfs to the left side because Paris Johnson, I think, profiles more as a right side guy in the NFL, but has had left tackle experience. So go ahead and get me a guy that's been on a proven winner down to a team that's in a little bit of a rebuild mode and
Yeah.
keep Baker Mayfield upright and let him throw the ball to, I don't know, the bevy of weapons he has, like Mike
Yeah.
Evans, Chris
Chris
Godwin,
Godwin.
Cade Otton.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Cade.
No, don't
All
do
right.
it.
All right, Lefty. Your pick 20 that you always get here for the
Yeah.
Seahawks. Where we're going.
Going edge rusher, Nolan Smith, Georgia Bulldogs. Uh, like we've said in the past, the Hawks really need to focus on the defensive line. We have Jalen Carter going fifth at D tackle. Why not get an edge rusher from a powerhouse school that is always known to have a great defense? And Nolan Smith can go in and make huge plays, get some sacks for us, just cause havoc in the backfield. So go Nolan Smith.
Yeah, coming off the injury, it was interesting to see where he would fall because this guy was the heartbeat of the defense, even when injured, high character guy. And I think this is also a hedge for Darrell Taylor because he's been very streaky when it comes to putting
Yeah.
up numbers. He's a guy that's going to play that same position. So if Darrell Taylor pans out, great, another guy in the rotation. If he doesn't, now you're passing the baton after
Yeah,
this year.
exactly.
All right, pick 21. This is going to be a repeat for the Chargers. We're going running back. I'm thinking Arby's, baby.
I'm thinking Arby's.
Bijan Robinson, running back, Texas Longhorns. With the Austin Eckler still kind of up in the air, even if he's back, Bijan Robinson, you could almost straight platoon with this guy. He has a similar skill set to Austin Eckler, but more size and a little bit more reliability between the tackles. So pairing those two just gives you a two-headed monster to go with that offense. So go ahead and give me some Bijan Robinson to
Yeah,
the
and their
Chargers.
offenses, they like to score points. So
I think all offenses
yeah,
prefer
true,
it.
true.
They prefer
Yeah.
it. It's not always a requirement, but
That's
it's
fair. That's
preferred.
fair. They do score a lot of points. I should rephrase.
All right,
Some like to, but don't.
let's go to the franchise in the most hot water right now. Let's go pick 22, Baltimore Ravens. Lefty, where are they going?
They're going edge rusher Miles Murphy out of Clemson, the Tigers. At this point, we had, like we were saying, we had Vanessa going there quite a bit, and now Vanessa is shooting up the mock draft. So you got to go best edge defender, and Miles Murphy's that guy. Their defensive line has been kind of struggling. They got rid of Campbell, right?
Yep.
He's on the Falcons now, so I mean, you got to fill that hole, and I think Miles Murphy's great fit for that.
All right, pick 23, Minnesota Vikings. And might be a shocker to some, but guy that's rising right now. Quarterback, Hendon Hooker, Tennessee Volunteers. And I think that Like Mike Feinbaum had him going 5 to the Seahawks. I know that there's a drug problem in America, but whatever crack he's smoking, I think he probably needs to share with people because
Yeah.
that is ludicrous.
Luda.
So, but Hendon Hooker to the Vikings, I think is a solid move. You've got an established starter right now in Kirk Cousins, who's not getting any younger. You saw the regression of Russell Wilson. They were in the same draft class. Hendon Hooker's not going to play down this year in the NFL. He's going to be 26 by the time he takes his first snap on an NFL field. But Hendon Hooker looked phenomenal. He was an MVP type guy down the stretch before the ACL tear. And it was late in the season. This gives you time for him to learn was Kevin O'Connell's offense and
Mm,
really become entrenched as the starter the next year. You're going to have to pay Justin Jefferson the absolute
yeah.
bag. You're going to have to back like 3 Brinks trucks up to his house. So you're going to need to save some money at the quarterback position. And Kirk Cousins just knows how to get guaranteed money, fully guaranteed contracts. So you need to get out of that and get a little bit younger at the position. Are there bigger
Yeah.
areas of need defensively? Yes. But we're preparing for the future because the NFC North with this draft is getting better.
Yeah,
Like
for
you're
sure.
you're not looking for just this season. You got to be looking forward to the future.
Yep.
All right, pick 24, going down to Duval, Jacksonville Jaguars.
They're going with God, where was it? Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. God, I can't even remember
The
what the.
Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to type it in as fast as possible, but that one caught me.
Just ask
But
Jason Kidd to throw you the assists.
but Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback out of Mississippi State, the Bulldogs.
Ball
Um,
hawk.
yeah, this guy, I think I saw some mock drafts where they had him in like going pick 40s. Like
Pretty much
now he,
all production.
yeah, exactly. This guy is a stud, and I think he would fit great with the Jags. Something that they need right now is a cornerback. So, yeah, give me Emmanuel Forbes for the Jags.
All right, pick 25, New York Giants. They're going roll tide, Alabama Crimson Tide, safety Brian Branch. The loss of Julian Love
BBs.
is a big loss for him. And I think that Brian Branch can do some of the same things. I don't think he's going to clock many slot corner back duties, but he can play over the top, he can play in the box, and he's a very versatile guy. And a team that's built on running the football, limiting um, limiting scoring opportunities by their opposition by keeping their offense on the field with a strong rushing attack. You need that guy over the top to be that guy that saves the day. And I think Brian Branch has great acumen coming out of Alabama, great player. And I think that he would be a good fit, especially the loss of Julian Love. Go Hawks.
Wax.
All right, pick 26. See, we didn't think a little bit deeper about this because they did make a trade for this position last week, but I think that this is a good long term investment for them. Where are they going? Dallas Cowboys pick 26.
Wide receiver Jordan Addison out of USC, the Trojans. Like you were saying, he's too big of a name for Jerry Jones to pass up. Jerry Jones loves the big name guys, wants to bring in
Got
more
Brandon
fans.
Cooks last week.
That's right. I was like, who did they grab? But yeah, I mean, Brandon Cooks is kind of washed up, honestly, getting old. Still produced in Houston, but definitely need to bring in a younger guy. And Jordan Addison, I think, will fit great with the Cowboys. Can be a deep threat guy, play the slot. Yeah, just kind of get tension drawn away from CD Lamb.
I like it. All right, pick 27, Buffalo Bills. Not a lot of holes on this team right now. They
Yeah.
really shored them up really well. Isaiah McKenzie's not on this team, so go ahead and get me wide receiver Zay Flowers, wide receiver Boston College Eagles, I believe.
Yeah, I think that is.
Some sort of bird.
Let
Um,
me.
but Zay Flowers is a yak monster. And I've said this before. We've said this before in previous mocks. I think that with Josh Allen wanting to, his coach coming out and saying, I want him to take less hits, let's find me a reliable guy that you can drop the ball off, short drops. Zay Flowers is that guy. You put him on the same field as Stephon Diggs and Gabe
Yeah,
Davis, and oh man, this is a scary looking trio.
with Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think that this would be a home run hitter for the Bills.
Yeah.
And Lefty, I know for the next pick that is your pick, but I will say that I was hanging out with a diehard Bengals fan, and he said, "Find me a tight end." So maybe we did, maybe we
Yeah,
didn't.
maybe. We'll see. We're going 28th pick, Bengals taking tight end. We did find one.
Did it?
Luke Musgrave out of Oregon State, the Beavers. This guy, I think, better than Dalton Kincaid.
Healthier.
Healthier too. And with Hayden Hurst departing from the Bengals, they need to fill that position. And Luke Musgrave is a great guy to fill that position for him. So
Yeah.
found him a tight end.
Yeah, not a lot of stats because Oregon State
Yeah.
couldn't pass the ball very well with their quarterback situation, but super toolsy guy and balled out at the Senior Bowl.
Yep.
All right, pick 29. We've got the New Orleans Saints. And this is a guy that we've had higher, and some of the mock drafts I'm seeing have him slipping out of the first round. But I think that this is a good guy to put on this defense to rebuild it and make it a little bit younger. It's Brian Bresee, former 5-star recruit out of Clemson Tigers. And he's a guy that was looked at as a higher first round talent. He's slipping a little bit. He's had some health concerns while at his time at Clemson. But when he's right, I mean, Clemson just pumps out defensive line talent. And this is a guy in the right situation, being next to Cam Jordan. Talk about a guy that I'd want to learn the ropes from.
Yeah.
Is Cam Jordan. Give me Brian Bresee, insert him on this defensive line, and hopefully start to put back that team that has one of the better defense when healthy in the NFC South.
Yep.
All right. 2 picks left. Pick number 30, going back to Philadelphia. Where are we going here, Lefty?
They're going wide receiver out of North Carolina, the Tar Heels, Josh Downs. He snuck into this mock draft for the first round. Fast guy. Something that the Eagles could use too is just another threat at wide receiver. People are comparing Josh Downs to Kadarius Toney, which Kadarius Toney is a great
gadget player.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think the Chiefs had him returning punts, kicks, just the guy that they can throw in and he can make plays, So I think this is a great fit for the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. They'd have a disgusting trio with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Downs. So
just making teams better. That's what we do.
Always. That's always the goal.
All right. Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs. Signed Juwan Taylor from the Jaguars, but lost Orlando Brown and Andrew Wiley. Go ahead and give me Dwan Jones, tackle out of Ohio State. Talk about a mammoth of a human being. He's like 6'7", 6'8", clocking in like 330. The dude is a mountain. And I think he's got some athletic ability too, and you got to have that, especially when you've got a Patrick Mahomes who's going to extend plays like he does. So I think that fortifying that, you're paying that money to Mahomes forever. You have to keep him upright. He somehow was able to get out 2 performances with a shattered ankle, basically.
Yeah.
But I think this is a guy that slots in well, gives you a starter week 1, and puts them in a situation to succeed.
Definitely.
Let's go
Not
wrap
that
it up
they
for
can't
this mock
succeed.
draft.
Yeah.
Hey,
We'll wrap it up.
Easy E, John Mayer, Mel Kiper, Todd McShay. Look out. We coming.
We coming for your jobs.
Yeah.
Hide your
Marshawn
wives, hide your kids.
and your husbands, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Marshawn might say, yo, protect your chickens.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, let us know how we did. Also, probably going to post the results out there for those of you that don't want to listen or watch this podcast. And if you do, you're a damn fool.
You a fool.
So, but to see when we post this and other fun things, hop on over to the social media. You can find me at The Real Coach Red on Twitter, on Instagram at The Real _ Coach Red. Also hop on over to YouTube, search Kicking It with Coach Red, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, drop a comment or two. Lefty France, where you at?
Follow me on Twitter at Lefty France, on Instagram at DFrance13. Go over and follow the pod on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Hey, follow us. Do it.
And as always, stay fresh.
Stay fresh, peeps.
Peace.